Welcome to the webinar session of Monkfox. We conduct these webinars on a regular basis, and today's webinar we thought of since it's the time for final year students, since the students are coming out of third years and they are moving to the final years. Two things become very prominent right now. One is placements and the other one is final year projects. And I think that's why we decided to devote some of the webinars to the final year projects which the students can pick on latest technologies. So we have another webinar on Monday and the third webinar on Tuesday. So the second webinar is on Android applications. Anybody can pick final year projects on Android applications, and the next one is most probably on big data and data analytics. So in today's session, we'll be talking about Internet of Things, and students can pick up projects, final year projects on Internet of Things, and it is a very upcoming field. What are the advantages students will get? We'll briefly talk about Internet of Things as a field as well. What are the technologies which students will learn if they do a project in Internet of Things, and how can the college motivate their students to pick up projects on IoT. So let us start. Let us first give I'll try to give a brief about what IoT is, so that the members here get an understanding of the breadth of technologies which IoT comprises of. So IoT consists of basically 4 parts, and every Internet of Things application or a device or a project consists of 4 primary parts. The first one is sensing, which is typically done using sensors. It can be an analog sensor or a digital sensor, and it is basically used for analyzing any analog value in the environment and converting it into a digital form. So sensing is one of the first important part of an Internet of Things application. The second is computing. So once the value is there with us in a digital form, then we need to calculate that value. Then we need to do analysis on that value. So for example, if you are trying to build say a smart irrigation system, in that case we'll use as a sensor, we'll use a humidity sensor, and we'll be calculating the humidity values of the soil constantly, and we'll be storing those values, as well as we will be analyzing those values for various parameters, and we'll be seeing what are the best humidity values. So it's an IoT application. It uses a humidity sensor. It computes the values, stores the values, and analyzes those values. The next part, important part of an IoT application, is communication. So the sensor which has collected the data and stored somewhere, that data needs to be communicated. Because since it's an Internet of Things, there are various devices which are connected with each other over the internet. So it becomes very important that the values are communicated to the right channel or to the right hub in the right format, and hence communication is another major part. The fourth part is interface. So interface is nothing but the user interface, or how the end user interacts with the IoT device. Okay, so these 4 parts basically comprise of a complete IoT application. Okay, it's Internet of Things is not just a technology, it's a space. It's a space where multiple technologies come together to form a useful application. Okay, we'll just try to understand the various components of each of these technologies. We will also see that in each of these areas, like sensing or computing or communication or interface, there are different types of technologies used in any of these areas. So this is nothing but a smart home. Typically the most common applications which students build for college projects are smart home applications. So IoT is just not related to smart home, but at a student level, there are a student as a project, there are many different applications that can be picked. So IoT has applications in agriculture, IoT has applications in industrial, so industrial IoT, it has applications in healthcare. But at a student level, projects like industrial IoT will be too big to handle, because it is hard for a student to get hold of a boiler or industry level equipment. So creating a project on industrial IoT becomes difficult. So at a college level, students generally pick up home automation, they pick up health monitoring systems. These are some of the kinds of projects which the student pick up at a college level for the final year project. So there are different kinds of applications. There are numerous kind of applications which can be built on home automation IoT. Okay. For example, a simple lightning control. You're using your mobile phone and a sensor, you can control your lightning. You can change the intensity of the lightning based on whether the day is cloudy or whether the day is whether the day is cloudy or sunny. You can control. You can create video cameras. You can basically create an burglar alarming system, which is part of the home automation. You can create a automated gardening or irrigation system in the garden. You can create a leak detection system. So, and in home pipes, how do you detect leaks using an IoT system? And many such applications. So for example, how do you can you create an automatic audio system, and you can use your mobile phone to actually control that, control the volume of that audio system. So in home automation itself, there can be numerous projects which the students can pick up as a part of their IoT final year project. So just to give you a brief example, this is a shoe which has been developed by Nike. It's an Internet of Things product, and the quality of this shoe is laced with accelerometers, gyroscopes, and it is built primarily for athletes. And you see a mobile phone on the right hand side. So every data which the shoe calculates is sent to the mobile phone, and the shoe calculates the data like how high did you jump, how fast are you running, is your posture while running correct, are you applying the right pressure in the right areas. These are some of the values which are very useful for coaches who train these athletes and help the coaches improve athletic performance of these players. So, and he can monitor these value of individual players on simple his mobile phone. So, did the performance of an athlete improve in the last 1 month, or did it not? So, this is one another application which can be used. Another important part of the IoT application is, this is, I think you guys must be knowing, this is a thermostat, and Nest built an IoT enabled thermostat, and Nest is a company who was acquired by Google in 2014 for $3.2 billion. So it's a big revolution. So this is a thermostat which uses the IoT technology. It communicates with your mobile phone in the home, and it's again part of the home automation system. It communicates with the mobile of your home. It lets you control the thermostat using your mobile phone. It automatically learns and regulates temperature. So it has machine learning as well as artificial intelligence built into it, and it's a very, very nice product. You see, a simple thermostat which was say 10 years back, which was being controlled manually, is now able to control itself, learn from your patterns, and allows you to control through the mobile phone. And as well as all this data gets uploaded or sent to a cloud system. So you see, just to build one IoT applications, how many technologies are getting involved and getting ingrained inside. Okay. So I explained some of the applications which people are building across the world, big companies are building across the world. So this is a typical layer of an IoT system. So at the top you have the sensor node. Okay, any sensors like pressure sensors, humidity sensors, heartbeat sensors. Then you have the physical layer in the above, which is basically, it can be a board. It can be a board like Raspberry Pi, Arduino, or any kind of prototyping board. Then you come to the gateway. So the gateway is the one which actually connects your device with the outside internet. Okay, so you send that data to the gateway. Mr. Tejas is saying that the slides are not seen clearly. Is everyone facing the issue, Mr. Tejas? This is probably because your internet is slow. Mr. Mahesh, are you also facing the same issue? Or is anyone able to see the slides clearly? Can you reply on the chat window? Okay, Abid Khan also saying the slide is not clear. Okay, I think we have made some network changes. Is it clearly visible to? I think Tejas saying Tejas, it's visible now. Abid, are you able to see it? Tejas, are you able to hear me? Great, 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 great. So okay, so let us resume the place where we left. So I just go through this slide itself. So this slide is says that it shows the different layers of Internet of Things. The top layer is the sensor node layer, which consists of any type of analog or digital sensors like humidity sensor or pressure sensors or heartbeat sensors. Is your physical layer. Physical layer is the layer at which the sensor is connected. So it can be your Raspberry Pi, it can be Arduino, Beagle board, or any such kind of board or a physical chip on which the sensor is connected and is actually being operated upon. Gateway. Gateway is the interface which connects you to the outside internet. So your physical layer, which is the Arduino or the Raspberry Pi or any other board, is connected to the gateway, which connects the board to the internet. After the internet, then comes your cloud, the database, and the web, uh, and the whole world of internet. Yes, Pritam. Pritam, you are saying something. You have a question. Are you able to see and hear me? Okay, so when the data from the sensor node is collected, it goes to the physical layer. From the physical layer, it goes to the gateway. From the gateway, it is sent to a cloud, which is the data cloud, and it is stored there on the cloud. Okay, and from the cloud, this data goes to an analytics server. So there, at the analytics end, there's a lot of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence which takes place. So this data flows from the cloud to the analytics server, and there are reasonable outcomes or reasonable deductions which are brought out by the data science and the analytics servers. Now, depending on this analysis, if you see the arrow goes back, there's a circle to the sensor node. So this data from the analytics, whatever analytics has calculated, it goes back to the sensor node. So why does it go back? Because, say for example, if we are trying to build an automatic solar panel which changes its direction based on where the sun is during the day. So if we know that the sun directly the output of a solar cell is maximized when the rays of the sun fall perpendicular to the solar cell. Okay, so hence to build a solar panel which keeps changing its direction based on the direction of the sun during the day, like the sunflower does. So if you want to do that sense, if you have to create that sensor, then you need to have a sensor which can calculate the value, then the value is sent back to a server which calculates the position of sun at that particular time, then sends that data back to your solar panel, which has a motor and which changes its direction accordingly. So the data must constantly flow across the system to make the right decisions, because the analytics is useful because it allows the end system to create the right to take the right decisions and take them on their own. So typically the data flows in an IoT application, and at the end there's a user interface. So user interface can be an Android application, can be a web application, it can be anything through which the user actually interacts with your IoT system. He can see that the analysis, he can see what is happening, he can control the sensors, physical layer. So these are typically this is how the data flows across an IoT system through various layers. Any questions till now? Are you guys able to follow? Am I too fast? Too slow? Hello? Is everyone able to hear me? Pritam, Abid, Mr. Mahesh? Am I audible? Okay. Okay, Mr. Tejas says that it's okay. Okay. So let me move forward. So we have, as I explained, there are various levels in the IoT. Each layer has its own technology. The sensor node, the sensor node has there can be many things which can be linked to, or many technologies which can be linked to the sensor node. Something like RTOS, which is real-time operating systems, I2C protocols, SPI, mesh networking, prototyping boards like Raspberry Pi, Arduino, Edison. So these are all the physical layer and the sensor node layer, which are the first two layers of the IoT application. So any IoT application will use one or more of these technologies. Then we come to the MAC layer. So you have, these are prominently the communication technologies, like it can be a Z-Wave or a ZigBee, it can be a Bluetooth low energy, it can be Bluetooth, it can be 802.11 specification. So these are various communication technologies. Some of these, like ZigBee is an industry standard. It is used in big factories and industries to for communication. Bluetooth low energy is primarily used in your heart sensors or health kind of IoT applications. Next is network transport layer, so IPv6, IPv4. 6LoWPAN is a new IoT standard IP addressing system. It is a very good place for research. If somebody wants to do research, it's a very good starting point. 6LoWPAN. Then comes application. So application layer is basically the user interface, or how the data is getting computed, how the data is being sent to different servers across the globe. So you have the prominent ones are HTTP server, COAP, MQTT, XMPP, DDS, IFTTT. So these are some of the application layer protocols will come into picture, and we don't use all of them, but depending on the kind of applications, each one has its own advantages and disadvantages. So it really depends on the kind of application you are building, so that you can choose the protocol. Now, then we have the cloud backend. The cloud computing and the analytics server generally use your cloud servers. They use machine learning, something like IBM Bluemix, which you might have heard of, Zyblee, PAS. So on the cloud backend, there is a lot of analytics taking place. There's a lot of data that is getting connected. So these technologies help in analyzing this humongous amount of. Okay, so in all, the purpose of me going through all these technologies is that an IoT application is not just a hardware application, it's an application. It's a combination of various technologies coming on the way. Raspberry Pi board, which is like the most powerful boards right now in its cost segment. It is used across the world for testing, creating, building IoT applications. Hugely popular and very easy to use, and hence it is used. On Raspberry Pi, we use Python as a programming language to control the sensors, to send the values, and to build applications which are IoT integrable applications. Okay. Now, the most important question, the final year project. So the final year project is typically very, very, very important. The student don't understand it, and even though the professors keep pushing the students to create the final year projects on their own, the students don't do it. But the student need to understand that the final year projects are very important. So whenever I used to go for interviews, or whenever I used to take interviews of students, I used to ask them a lot about final year projects. If the student has done a final year project himself, he'll be able to explain me. If he has not, he will fumble. He will not be able to tell me what he has done. And that gives the interviewer a very good or a bad experience about the student. So it becomes very important that the final year project is done by the student themselves. So it is important because it helps in getting a job. Even if you are applying for a job in campus, even if you are applying for a job in off campus, please explain what was your role and what was the project all about. So final year projects becomes very important. The goal is to impress the interviewer. So if you have done a final year project where where you have touched a lot of technologies, where you have done a lot of hard work, so then the interviewer gets impressed by the very fact that you have literally done something, you have literally touched the cutting edge technologies, and you are a technical person, and that impresses him, which is a very big impact right now. Final year projects are important because Without submission, you won't get a degree. And if you have to do the final project, then why not do it yourself so that it helps you in the interview as well. The problem which faculty and colleges face is most of the students get their projects made by someone else, take it from their seniors, pay some money to a third party, and they give them projects. So this is a culture which has developed, but this is not good, because ultimately when you see the placement figures, it clearly reflects. And if you talk to your final year students, you will find that a lot of them have been asked about their final year projects themselves. They will not be able to explain. Okay, and this creates a great impact. So if you are able to explain, very good, it impresses the interview. If you are not, then there are chances that you might get rejected. So because of these factors, it becomes very important that the students choose their final year projects wisely and do it themselves. Another problem with colleges faces, if the students are picking up new technologies, then it becomes hard for colleges to mentor these students on latest technologies, because these technologies are new in the market. The teachers, even the faculty members, don't know completely about these technologies, and when the student wants to pursue a project, then it becomes hard to guide them. So I think Monk Fox comes up with a final year project program on IoT, where we teach students on various technologies which they would need to build an IoT project, and mentor them to scratch and finish them. So Monk Fox final year project program on IoT comprises of classroom plus online mode. So there are some classes which the student takes online. There are some classes which we take in the college itself for the students, and the target is that student learns all these technologies which are required for him to build a complete IoT final year project. Students learn various technologies needed to build an IoT projects. Students build IoT projects in class. So we enable students to build projects in class, and then they can, on top of those projects, they can build their final year projects. Okay, so we equip them with all these technologies, and they do it in the class. Since I explained that IoT project requires knowledge of not just one field but a plethora of applications. So for students to pick up the final year projects, if a student has done a final year project program by Monk Fox on IoT, then he can even pick up any other area to create his final year project. He can pick up cloud computing, he can pick up big data, he can pick up Android applications, he can pick up web applications, he can pick up data science. So because all these form a part of the because IoT applications involve all these technologies, a student can choose to create an IoT application as a final year project, or he will also have knowledge about big data and Android applications, so that he can pick up any of these technologies to create the final year projects. Now, I'll just discuss some of the projects which the students have created in last years, and these projects have been created in the class by final year students, and they have been demonstrated to the HODs of various institutions. So, for example, one of the projects that students created in our final year project program was a smart kitchen container, which is an IoT enabled application. And it simply says that if you have a container at home and it contains some grocery like flour or wheat, as the level of grocery starts going down, the kitchen container will automatically send an SMS or an alert to your mobile phone and confirm that, can I place an order on your behalf to the nearby grocery store. Sorry. So this is a smart kitchen container, which automatically, you don't have to check whether my grocery is over or not. This smart kitchen container will automatically figure out whether you need to refill your groceries. So this was built by final year students. Automatic car parking. Now there is a big problem in big cities where there is too less space for parking, and according to a report, 10% of the fuel in these metros is people search for parking areas. an automatic car parking where as soon as a car enters the fields, there is a big application of IoT which is going on. The system calculates how much water is needed for which field and when to switch on the pump or you will. It does this by humidity sensors, and once the required water for the crop has been done, the IoT device automatically stops the pump from pushing more water. This was again built by one of the final year students. Shilpa is saying she's not getting the video. Shilpa, is there a problem with your internet, or is everyone of you getting the video, or is the problem being faced by everyone? Mr. Tejas, are you getting the video? Okay, Shilpa got it now. Great. Okay, so I was talking about smart irrigation system. Then a voice operated door unlocking. So we have these key locks on doors these days have become outdated. So how do you identify whether the person who is unlocking the door is you? So a smart automated voice recognition system which can allow you to unlock your door. It was also built by the final year students. Automatic fish feeder. So most of the time, if you have a fish tank at home, and you have to travel somewhere, then the problem, one of the bigger problems is your fish does not get proper food. So one of the students took this problem up and he built an automatic fish feeder system which allows you to feed the fish with your mobile phone no matter where in the world. So with the help of a motor and using it at regular intervals, he controlled, using Raspberry Pi, he controlled the fish tank, and he used to frequently push the fish food or grains inside the pond. So fish also got feeded and he does not have to remain at home. So it's a very interesting problem, very genuine problem, and he solved this using IoT. Theft detection notifier. When you are not at home, if you install an IoT system which is a theft detection notifier, then it tracks any movement in your house. So if there is a movement, it quickly sends captures an image and sends you an email notification that there's an intrusion in the house, and even it automatically dials the number of the nearest police station and tells them that there's an automatic voice recorder which tells them that this intrusion, can you please check. So an automatic theft detection, very useful in today's world, and it was again built by one of the students. App controlled robotic car, a very nice robotic car which could be controlled by an application. It could move forward, it could turn right, left, slow down. This was built by students, and they also created a mobile application, Android app, for controlling this car. Pulse monitor and notifier. So generally there is a problem when there are people who are sick and they are staying at home. If somebody has a heart problem, then it becomes very important to monitor them at our home. So whenever they are at home, there can be can be installed on their body, and that pulse can actually keep sending you signals that everything is fine, and whenever there is a problem or there is a change in the pulse of the patient, you immediately get notified that there is some problem, can you address it immediately? So for the sick or people who have a heart problem is very useful in saving a lot of lives. Just to mention, there was a stat by the Indian Medical Association which said that 95% of the heart attacks can be heart attack patients can be saved if they are taken to they are brought to the hospital right at the right time. So these IoT applications can help save us a lot of lives. Now, during this IoT summer, during this project program conducted by Monk Fox, students learn a lot of these technologies during the class. For example, they use Raspberry Pi for various applications. They use Python programming. They learn a new language, which is Python programming is like taking the world by storm. A lot of companies are working on this. A lot of developers across the world are working on Python. They learn about cloud computing, how to use cloud to store their data, retrieve their data, analyze their data. They learn data science. Data science is a very upcoming field. One of the highest paid fields right now is data science. Android application development. They learn about how to develop an Android application from scratch because every IoT application has an Android application to support it. Students learn about big data. Big data is again, it's a very upcoming technology. I think every one of you would have heard about it. So every IoT application can make use of big data, and in the class the student learn about this new technology as well. So IoT application or project building, a student learns 14 different latest technologies which are currently running the world, which are being these are desired by the employers. Now, why IoT? See, jobs in IoTs are increasing every year, and you must be prepared for it. So IoT is one of the upcoming fields, and as I already reasoned it before, number of technologies which IoT involves is too high, and therefore the jobs in IoTs are also increasing every year on year. In the last 5 years, there has been a 10-fold increase in the number of jobs that IoT or Internet of Things segment created. Another point is students get prepared for many tech jobs, which help them, which is very useful in companies. So just by building a final year IoT project, they become ready for many technologies. They become ready for Android application. They become ready for big data. So there are many things which they learn in a single IoT application, which automatically prepares them for an interview in any of these companies. So an interviewer may ask what is a big data. An interviewer may ask what is an Android application, how do you build an Android application, or how did you the application which you built, how did you go about it? So the students can answer these questions and go into a variety of technologies. Even in jobs, you don't work on one technology. So when you do a job, when a student does a job, he has to juggle around between 5 or 6 technologies. He has to use multiple things to get his work done. So Internet of Things final year project actually helps them in learning about how to juggle or how to connect all these technologies together, how to use Python with Pi, how to use Python with big data, how to use Python with say for example data science. So you know how to interconnect these technologies with each other. Exposure to 14 different and latest and industry standard technologies. So in the single IoT final year project, you get to know and learn. Students get to know and learn 14 different technology stacks and are able to implement that in one single project of IoT. Creating something from scratch is awesome. So all the projects which the students have done, which in the Monk Fox final year project program, I think the kind of happiness which student gets, the kind of confidence they get that they can build, they can create stuff is uncomparable. So that feeling is very awesome. It gives them a lot of confidence to learn technology. First in these areas, all these technologies are taught by Monkfox experts who have been in industry for more than 10-15 years. They have been from very great institutions. They have been working in various companies which are related to these technologies. So these are experts which have a very in-depth knowledge and industry working of these technologies. So now, I think that's all from my end. I talked about IoT. I talked about how the Monkfox final year project program can enable students build their projects on their own and can teach them IoT to pick up more and more IoT projects in their area. So if any one of you or any of the colleges is interested in uh, conducting this program in your campus, here is the contact. You can contact us on the mobile number, or you can email us on info@monkfox.com, or you can like us on Facebook also. And we have a YouTube channel, I think the one that you are viewing. Please subscribe to this channel. We have been posting free content, free placement lectures, which enable students to prepare for placement interviews. So we have been posting a lot of videos, 5-10 minute videos, which enable students to prepare for their placements. And these are free videos. So please ask your students to subscribe to that, and you also subscribe to that. And if any one of you wants to conduct this final year project program on IoT in your campus, you can contact us on any of the following. So I think I'm done. Any questions? Now I'll just put the ball open for the audience. If you have any questions which you want me to answer, or anything which you think I can answer, please ask your questions. Abid, Tejas, Shilpa, any questions? Any questions? You can ping the questions on the chat window. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, Shilpa has a question. Can we get any online study materials on Python? Yes, there is a lot of online study material on Python. I can, if you send us a mail, I will definitely reply to that. You can send me a mail on info@monkfox.com, and I will send you some online resources where you can learn Python. You are looking for videos, or even a PDF text will be fine. Thank you, Mr. Tejas. I hope that the session was helpful, and I hope the session was helpful, and you got to know something new about a latest tech, which you can, I think, if a college requests, we can conduct this session for their students as well, to tell them more about IoT and its applications and how they can pick up final year projects. I hope this session was useful to the audience present here. Shilpa, I have pinged you a link. Learn Python the hard way. It is one of the best online resources to learn Python, and it's very good. Good. Sure. Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, Shilpa. Any more questions, Mr. Abid? You have any questions? We have another couple of minutes for questions. Please don't forget to send us a mail on info@monkfox.com if you have any queries, you want to learn anything, you want to know anything, we'll be happy to help you. Also, please don't forget. Yes, of course. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Monkfox Placement Corner. It's a great resource. We are adding more and more videos every week for the students to learn about placement interviews. Mr. Tejas is asking, can you give us more details about Raspberry Pi? Yes. See, Raspberry Pi is it contains a Linux-based operating system. Uh, it's basically a credit card size computer system, and it has your all the peripheral devices like USB ports. It has HDMI ports. It has your it has a one. I think the latest Raspberry Pi has 2 GB of RAM. It has a Snapdragon processor. I think more or less this is what a Raspberry Pi is. Apart from that, I can send you a small video of Raspberry Pi. These all applications have been built. Uh, these all applications have been built on Raspberry Pi. Mr. Tejas, I can definitely send you in fact, a text link to know more about Raspberry Pi. Can we build projects for specially able people using IoT? Yes, of course. People have for blind people, especially a lot of these projects have been built using Raspberry Pi to enable them to navigate their ways, to enable them to know where they are, how far the bus stand is, and to enable them to actually read from a book. I think these are some of the applications which people have built already on Raspberry Pi, and they're very useful. So, for example, if you can create a smart hat, HAT hat, for a blind person, which can actually tell him in which direction to go. And if you see, just to add, in the specially abled people segment, there has been a lot less innovation in the past 50 or 100 years. Still, the blind people use cane or that rod to find their ways. I think with these technologies, somebody having the passion to create, I think a lot of these there will be a lot of innovation in the specially able people segment using these technologies. I hope, Shilpa, I answered your question. Any other questions? I'm repeating again, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, the Monkfox Placement Corner. You will receive latest notifications about the videos that we post. Some mail on info@monkfox.com for any queries that you might have, or if you want to conduct the summer or the placement program, the project program on IoT for your students to build their final projects on IoT. Monkfox will be happy to talk to your faculty members and your management to conduct this program in your college. I think it's already time. If you have any other queries, please do send us a mail at info@monkfox, and please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for joining in. I think you have been a great audience. I hope this webinar was helpful. We will share you the recording of the webinar so that you can even watch it later. Much for joining and sparing out your precious time. Bye bye. Have a great day.